Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin Howard and I live in Ohio. When I was thinking about the presentation I was going to talk about today, I did learn quite a bit from my research, although I sadly didn't get my full paper done with just a lot of different things happening in my life. But the couple issues that I wanted to point out, one was prison reform. And I chose that one because I have a lot of family members who have done many bad things and who have needed to be incarcerated, including my brother. And I think about it, and he totally deserved to be there, and I am not disputing that. However, I think in his situation, he needed to stay, but I think of those who have like petty theft and misdemeanors, and I think how many of those actually need to be incarcerated, and how many of those, should have a second chance and just go out on probation or, you know, maybe even a rehab facility. Like my brother, he was he's a drug addict, and he's been sober for 6+ months, which I'm very proud of him for. And there's some other issues there, the reason why he stayed incarcerated. But I feel like, if it was just the drug issue, then couldn't they have put him in a rehab facility and gone from there and see what it was like court ordered, instead of just locking him up? And he's in rehab now and he's doing great. He has until, I believe, March to finish out his rehab program. But I think about it, and I say it can be tricky because 99% of the time, people who are in prison deserve to be there. However, there are different ways we can go about it. I do agree with prison reform. They should change things for prisoners. We have so many people who are incarcerated and locked up that if we really set our minds to it, I'm sure certain people with certain crimes would have different punishments instead of just keeping them all in. And then the next one I want to talk about is which one? Budget and taxation. Okay, this one. Budget is a thing that many Americans today struggle with. We think we need all of this, and but at the same time we're like, oh, the city's not making the roads any better, and the library's not doing this, and the schools aren't doing that. The expansion of the federal government spending power has allowed more grant money and lower government levels. That alone has accounted for even increasingly share their total of income. 47% in 2013 income came from individuals, not businesses. Income taxes utilizing 34% of the payroll taxes. This is the combination of Social Security tax and Medicaid care tax. However, talking about taxation, people seem to get defensive. Yet if we stop and think about it, even the Bible had taxation in it. Matthew, one of the 12, was a tax collector. Matthew 9:9. Although there are sometimes I believe our tax money should go to someone who is collecting food stamps, for example. Should not go to someone who is collecting food stamps, for example. If they are lazy and they do not want to work in collecting these benefits, they should not be receiving food stamps, according to 2 Thessalonians 3:6-10. If you're unhealthy and you physically cannot work, then I agree you should get food stamps. But if you're just not working because you don't want to, then you shouldn't be receiving them, because there are so many other people out here in this world that need it. In my very own city, we had a place called Ted City, and it was for people who were homeless because they did not have jobs. And I know so many of those people wanted to work. They just couldn't find the means to. They couldn't find the job who was willing to accept them. So I think there's a balancing act when it comes to taxation. So I'm not exactly sure if this is exactly what this presentation was supposed to be like, but this is my thoughts on those couple of issues. Thank you for listening.